Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. This is the Bodega Cat Book Club Health Edition. And today we're continuing our reading of Never Be Sick Again by Raymond Francis. And today we'll be reading chapter 4, and this is part 2. So here we go. First line of defense. The first line of defense. A cell's first line of defense against disease is the cell's membrane, the security wall that surrounds the cell and carries out many important functions. Healthy membranes built from appropriate materials protect cells from harmful invaders, including viruses. Malfunctioning membranes allow bacteria, viruses, toxins, and other harmful substances to damage cells. The presence of poorly constructed cell membranes formed from poor diets is one of the biggest reasons that almost all Americans get sick. The cell membrane controls everything that goes into and out of a cell. Making certain that only the right things go in and out of the cell is a critical and complex task that only can be accomplished when the cell membrane is constructed correctly. The membranes that surround each of the trillions of cells in your body are made mostly of fats and oils. Membranes constructed out of the wrong fats and oils do not function properly, which is a problem for most Americans. For example, diets with excessive amounts of saturated fats, which are rigid molecules, create rigid cell membranes that lack necessary electricity. Catastrophic failures, such as ruptured blood vessels and torn muscles and tendons, can occur in tissues made from these rigid cells. Cell membranes are made primarily of fatty molecules called phospholipids. Special kinds of cells called essential fatty acids, EFAs, omega-3s, and omega-6 are used to create the phospholipids in cell membranes. These oils are essential because your body is unable to produce them. These oils must be obtained through diet. An overwhelming majority, some estimate as much as 90% of the US population may be deficient in the correct assortment of essential fatty acids. When the correct raw materials are lacking, the body makes cell membranes out of whatever raw materials are available. These materials include the hydrogenated oils found in margarine, vegetable shortening, baked goods and breakfast cereals, the saturated fats from meat and dairy products, the trans fatty acids found in processed salad and cooking oils. That's an interesting word, processed salad. Never thought of salad as being processed, but that's interesting. Cell membranes built from these inappropriate fats and oils cause the membrane and the entire cell to malfunction. For example, building a cell membrane from hydrogenated oils impairs the passage of oxygen into the cell, and oxygen-deficient cells become cancerous. None of us would build a house with cardboard walls. Why then do we build our cell membranes, our first line of defense against disease, out of junk materials like margarine, vegetable shortening, vegetable shortening, and supermarket oils? Modern diets fail to supply adequate amounts of the correct essential fatty acids. I recommend supplementation with high-quality essential fatty acids and fish oils. See Appendix C. And we'll read that at the end of the book. So you'll have to stay tuned. Weak and rusty. To be healthy, cells must be supplied with adequate amounts of antioxidants. Cell membranes and the factories and powerhouses inside of cells can be damaged from oxidation via free radicals. Picture how oxidative damage, or rust, would cause the Golden Gate Bridge to disintegrate were it not painted with the protective coating each year. Currently, our bodies are immersed in a sea of highly reactive chemicals, such as ozone in urban air and chlorine in tap water, that create oxidative damage to our bodies. You likely have heard reports about antioxidants, such as vitamins A, C, and E, and how they protect us against free radical damage. Free radical damage, oh, okay, sorry. Free radicals damage our cells, just like rust erodes metal. Free radicals have unpaired electrons. Electrons which travel in pairs are charged particles orbiting around the nucleus of atoms. An impaired electron aggressively seeks a mate, trying to grab an electron from something else, perhaps a molecule that is performing an important job in one of your cell membranes. Once the electron is grabbed, that molecule can no longer perform its job properly. Furthermore, the molecule now becomes a free radical itself, aggressively seeking its own electron mate. The subsequent chain reaction can result in serious cellular damage, commonly associated with aging and disease, unless the body's tissue are rich with antioxidants that can stop hazardous chain reactions as soon as they begin. Let me read that sentence again. I don't think I read it very well. The subsequent chain reaction can result in serious cellular damage, commonly associated with aging and disease, unless the body's tissues are rich with antioxidants that can stop hazardous chain reactions as soon as they begin. Free radicals are naturally produced as we metabolize oxygen. Free radical chain reactions are constantly being produced and stopped inside your body. Cells were designed to cope with these reactions, but not of the magnitude that is present today. For example, chlorine, a highly oxidizing gas, put in municipal tap water, can easily damage our skin and lungs. Taking a shower in chlorinated water is like stepping into a chlorine gas chamber, a health hazard of which most people are totally unaware. We can make choices to protect ourselves. We can make choices to protect ourselves, but first we need to know the source of the damage. Today, we expose ourselves to free radical damage from chemicals to which our biological ancestors were never exposed. Our modern environment is filled with substances that cause free radicals to form, such as ozone, chlorine, pesticides, tobacco smoke, petroleum byproducts, synthetic perfume, and many others. We need more antioxidant protection than ever because we are exposed to so many more free radicals. The problem is that the need for antioxidant nutrients is up while the supply in our diet is down. To avoid the weak and rusty body, to slow the aging process and keep the disease at bay, the sensible solution is to stop the free radical damage. The necessities are simple. A diet rich in antioxidant nutrients along with antioxidant supplements, and clean food, water, and air. None of these ideas are new. But what people don't understand is why they are important. If you allow free radicals to damage your cells, to allow them to become weak and rusty, your body ages faster and becomes vulnerable to disease. Salt is often at fault. To be healthy, the nutrients in cells must be in proper balance. Upsetting the natural balance of chemicals inside a cell causes the cell to malfunction, which is what is happening to the balance of sodium and potassium in our cells. Over the past 100 years, our diets have changed dramatically, increasing the amount of sodium and decreasing the amount of potassium in our diet, thus reversing the natural balance. Modern food manufacturers add lots of salt, which is sodium chloride, to their products, while modern diets do not include enough potassium-rich foods such as fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. When our genes were evolving, human diets contained little sodium and a lot of potassium. For example, eating an apple provides only 1 milligram of sodium, but 310 milligram of potassium. Eating a piece of modern apple pie provides 110 milligrams of sodium and only 80 milligrams of potassium, a drastic change. Salt-rich diets force excess Salt-rich diets force excess sodium into cells, disturbing the normal and healthy sodium-potassium balance. Among other problems, excess sodium interferes with cellular energy production, causing fatigue. Sodium attaches itself strongly to water molecules, so when more sodium goes into the cells, so does more water. Water retention elevates blood pressure and causes weight gain. Dietary salt contributes to an increased incidence of cancer and metastasis, cardiac disease, stroke, kidney disease, bronchial problems, and kidney stones. By avoiding processed and packaged foods, most of our excess dietary sodium can be eliminated. An important litmus test. Healthy cells must have the correct pH. In addition to the dangerous imbalance of sodium and potassium, our modern lifestyles and diets have detrimental effects on another critical balance, the pH of our cells. Commercials commonly tout pH balance, shampoos for our hair, and most of us remember the litmus paper test from our chemistry sets or grade school experiments, those tiny sheets of paper that turn pink or blue based on pH. Cells must maintain proper pH balance, and our food choices affect that balance. The pH is a measurement of acidity or alkalinity. On the pH scale, 7 is neutral, 0 to 7 is acidic, and 7 to 14 is alkaline. The normal pH inside of a cell is about 7.4, which is slightly alkaline. Maintaining normal pH in the fluid inside the cell as well as in other body fluids is critical for keeping body systems functioning normally. Most of the chemical reactions in the body, including the production of energy, occur most efficiently in an alkaline environment. The enzymes involved in these reactions are pH sensitive and only function within a narrow pH range. pH level affects other vital operations, such as the transport of substances through cell membranes. You can monitor your acid alkaline levels by using pH paper. See Appendix C. Modern diets often cause cellular pH to drop below 7 into the acidic range. Cells also can become too alkaline, but excessive acidity is most common. A cell that becomes too acidic is said to have intracellular acidosis. Acidosis, an extremely serious condition, is one of the common factors present in many manifestations of disease. The more acidic a cell becomes, the more impaired its function. At very high acidic levels, the cell will die. Herman Ehara, author of Acid and Alkaline, says that one of the most important causes of cancer and other degenerative diseases is the cumulative effect of the acidic condition of body fluid. How do cells become too acidic? Different foods have different effects on our body. Different foods have different effects on our pH. Ideally, we should consume only foods that maintain proper cellular pH. Instead, we consume a diet high in foods that have acidic effect, such as sugar, soft drinks, white flour, pasta, and bread, excessive protein and salt. Consumption of these foods, which deplete the body of alkaline materials, has skyrocketed over the past few generations. Because acidosis is such a threat, the body tries to prevent it by using its own alkaline minerals, such as calcium and magnesium, leached from the bones and teeth, leading to dental problems and osteoporosis. By contrast, fresh and unprocessed foods, such as alkaline minerals, help keep pH within normal limits. For this reason, among others, most of our calories should come from fresh, unprocessed vegetables, fruits, beans, and whole grains. Concerned about your pH? Measure the pH of your first morning urine before eating. This test offers an indicator of your cellular pH and can be used to monitor changes as you work to normalize your pH. First morning urine should be in the range of 6.5 to 7. If readings fall below 6.5, you are too acidic. Occasional readings above 7.0 are normal, but consistent readings above 7 are an indication of tissue breakdown, and a pH over 8 is a serious matter. Fatigue is often reflected in an acidic pH. So, just a side note, I know a YouTuber. He's not a YouTuber. He sells Kangen water, which is alkaline water. His story was he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he didn't want to go through conventional treatment. So he started doing research on the internet and found Kangen water. And he drank at least a gallon, maybe 2 gallons a day. He did nothing else, just drank the Kangen water. Like a gallon a day or maybe two, I don't remember now. And his prostate cancer went away. I can't say the word cure, but it did go away. And he started selling Kangen water. So it's amazing, isn't it? And also vegetables and fruits, they're all alkaline, which is why the people with cancer needs to be on an alkaline diet, just fruits and vegetables, and the cancer can go away, will go away, can be cured, quote unquote cured. And that is what there's a clinic, Gershon, I think it's called, Gershon Clinic in Mexico. That's what they do, just fruits and vegetables, juicing and coffee enema for cancer patients. And it works. Yeah, absolutely. All right, sorry, a little detour there. Why am I so tired? Fatigue is one of the most common complaints made to physicians today. During the onset of my own illness, the first thing I noticed was fatigue. I simply did not have the energy I had been accustomed to having. So many people, epidemic proportions actually, are tired and lack energy, but they do not know what to do about it. Indeed, when I told my doctor about my fatigue, he told me it was the result of aging. In truth, the fatigue had nothing to do with growing older and everything to do with becoming sicker. All cells require energy to function. Your cellular powerhouses use enzymes to turn carbohydrates, fatty acids, and amino acids into energy the body is able to use. Fatigue occurs because the body's energy production systems have been impaired. The powerhouses called mitochondria may not be receiving sufficient fuel or oxygen, may have been damaged by free radicals, may have the wrong pH, or may have their enzymes disabled by toxic chemicals. The high energy compounds made by the powerhouses, such as ATP, adenosine triphosphate, are made in large quantities when we sleep, which is one reason that an under-rested person functions poorly and lacks energy. Don't blame your parents. Genes are the blueprints for the structure and function of every cell in our bodies. Although we inherit genes from our parents, how we maintain and care for our genes determines how well our cells work. Over a lifetime, to some degree, genes deteriorate and mutate naturally, but what we must focus on are man-made free radicals that accelerate or distort this natural process. Minimizing the damage is crucial. Important steps are to avoid radiation from medical x-rays and other sources, environmental chemicals, prescription and recreational drugs, alcohol, tobacco, smoke, and even charbroiled, sorry about that, even charbroiled meat. Minimizing the damage also means protecting genes with good nutrition, particularly foods containing ample antioxidant nutrients, such as vitamins A, C, E, and the mineral selenium. Selenium isn't something people talk about. very much, but it's very important. Many people assume that bad genes or a family history of disease predestines them to be sick. In truth, while genetic predispositions do put a person at risk for disease, what a person chooses to do to protect the health of their cells and genes plays a more important role in whether or not disease develops. Choices rather than genetic inheritance are the key. We must focus on how we play the game, not the cards we were dealt. What we eat, what we do, and what we are exposed to determines how healthy we will be. Learning a new way. Unfortunately, a common medical response to a diseased organ is to remove it surgically. Before taking such a drastic action, why not give the cells that make up that organ what they need? Keep them free of what they do not need and restore the organ to health. Modern lifestyles, diets, and toxins create the formulas for cellular malfunction and disease. Yet, traditional medical practices ignore them. How often have you, a friend or a relative, consulted a physician and been given a diagnosis or treatment, but were not asked even one question about how you care for or neglect your body? Not asked even one question about what you eat, what harmful substances invade your environment, or how you live your life in general. More commonly, you are asked about symptoms alone. Traditional medicine does not make us healthy, and worse yet, can make us sick, and promote our health. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me read that again. Traditional medicine does not make us healthy, and worse yet, can make us sick and promote our death. Drugs and surgeries and other medical procedures that disregard the causes of disease, not fixing the problems inside the cells and instead addressing symptoms, can never cure the disease. Disease is not about diseases, it is about cells. Diagnosis and treatments should always reflect this approach. The battle between sickness and health takes place within every cell in your body. Choosing healthy cells means following each of the 6 pathways in a positive direction. Let us move on to the first of the 6, the nutrition pathway. Okay, so I know I said we're going to do read Appendix C at the end of the book, but I'm just curious now. And we're just going to read the areas that he talked about. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so we will, so he went through, looks like he went through like different oils. Oops, sorry for the moving. Fats and oils, biryani olive oil. We won't read it now. I'm just gonna give you the titles. Barlean's flaxseed oil, Carlson cod liver oil, organic ghee or butter. We've had ghee before in our household. Udo's Choice Perfected Oil Blend. And then for the pH paper, he talked about that here too. Okay, and then other stuff. Anyways, that was interesting. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for tolerating my non-professional reading. Oh, yeah. Thank you for putting up with that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good week and we will continue our reading next week. In the meantime, I hope you guys all have a good day. Bye-bye now.